Today's the day. Sierra Mountains, 2010. Step on the scale. No. You want to leave here, don't you? That got her attention. The woman on the bed turned her head toward him. She was not a happy camper. Today might be your lucky day. Your arms are half the size they were when you first came to me. Look at this, he said, holding up a summer dress with spaghetti straps. I even bought you a dress for the occasion. You're never going to let me go. Her head fell back against the already flattened pillow. He looked at the dining room table and noticed she'd eaten the salad and green beans and left the chocolate chip cookies. It was amazing what a person could do with the right motivation. He crossed the room in a few strides and went to stand on the other side of the bed so he could get a better look at her. She wore an oversized pajama shirt that hung past her knees. Her cheekbones were more pronounced. 3 chins had become 1. Yes, he said, you're definitely going home. You look like a whole new person. She ignored him. Come on, get up. I want to see how you look in this dress. He helped her slide her legs to the edge of the bed. Her feet slid slowly to the floor, the long chain clinking as she moved. She had taken 3 weeks longer than most to lose a measly 10 pounds, but during the 6th week, something must have finally triggered her to start doing the hard work because the weight had melted off from that point on. He picked up her logbook from the bedside table and looked it over. Good. Looks like you've been following the routine perfectly. Get dressed, he said as he headed for the kitchen. He removed the dishes from the small wood table but left the plate of cookies. She was a messy one, he thought. Most of the women who had stayed here did the dishes and kept everything nice and tidy, but Diane Kramer was a bona fide slob. She used to be a pig and a slob. 1 out of 2 wasn't bad. When he returned to the bed, which also served as a couch when she wasn't in it, he was delighted to see that the dress fit her perfectly. Today was definitely the day. You look great, he told her. He raised his hand to her face so that he could brush tangled hair from her eyes. She flinched as if his touch was revolting in some way. The idea boggled his mind. He'd been good to her. For months he'd provided her with nutritious meals, made certain she was clothed and bathed, supplied her with books to read, and gave her a journal so she could keep track of her progress. Not once had he raised a hand to her, let alone his voice. He nudged her arm to get her on the scale. She was 5 feet 5 inches tall. When the tip of the needle settled on the 9, he was ecstatic. Congratulations, Diane! You did it! You weigh 119 pounds. Once he removed the chains from around her ankles, she would be closer to 109 pounds. Fabulous. She stood before the mirror looking glum, her shoulders slumped forward, her spine curved. There was only so much he could do. Attitude was everything. Nothing she could say or do, though, would ruin the joy he felt upon seeing such amazing results. There wasn't a human being in the world he couldn't help. He was sure of it. He moved her away from the scale, placed his hands on her shoulders, and turned her toward the one wall in the room that she could not reach during her stay. The wall was covered with a dark, silky sheet. It was time for the big reveal. But first, he grabbed the comb from the bedside table and brushed the tangles from her long, dirty blonde hair. She remained silent, her eyes dull and lifeless. Once that chore was done, he went to stand in front of the sheet, inhaling deeply as he turned and stared at her. 30 seconds passed before he realized he was holding his breath. He smiled and then snapped his fingers when he realized he'd almost forgotten the most important part. Within minutes, he returned to the same spot in front of the sheet, glad to see she hadn't moved. He held the Polaroid camera high enough so he could see her from head to toe through the viewfinder. Stand up straight, he said. She hardly moved. He took the picture anyhow. Within minutes, the negative developed and he was able to compare her before picture with the picture he'd just taken. Look at this, he said. You've lost 146 pounds without the chains. He pulled the sheet away, revealing a floor-to-ceiling mirror. He turned toward the mirror and waited for her reaction.